Hi, and thanks for logging on to the Daily DVAR Halacha. And here's a brand new halacha for you, and it's for Thursday the 19th of June. Here we go. Okay, today we're going to give you a certain scenario. I just want to warn you in advance that you'll be in suspense. We won't finish it today, but we'll start. Part one of you get to your room Friday night on Shabbos, and you notice that someone left a cell phone on your bed. Okay, so it's a problem. The cell phone is muktzah, and you would like to move the cell phone off of your bed because it's in the way and it's muktzah, but muktzah items are not supposed to be moved. What should you do? So we're going to have to step backwards here and consider the exact, so you're not going to get the answer today. It's going to take us about 2 days to give you the final answer, okay? Here goes. First of all, let's make some counter examples that you'll need to know first. If you had gotten to your bed on a Friday night and noticed that a hammer was on your bed, which is muktzah, the answer would be simpler. And that's because a hammer is muktzah. There's different categories of muktzah, and the category of hammer is called kli shemalachto le'isser. It's a vessel that's used for prohibited activities like building or hammering nails into walls. So a hammer is in that category of muktzah, which is in some ways a more lenient category. When things are in the category of kli shemalachto le'isser, like a hammer, they can be moved for two good reasons. If you need them letzorech gufo, that means you need the hammer for itself. See, there are permissible uses that you might find for a hammer, like, for example, you might want to crack some nuts with that hammer. So that hammer, you would be allowed to pick it up and go crack nuts with it, and then it would be off of your bed. So if you found a hammer on your bed and you needed it letzorech gufo for its own need to go use it as a hammer to crack nuts, you'd be allowed to take the hammer off your bed. If you needed it letzorech mikomo, because that place where you wanted to go onto the bed to go to sleep, you needed the hammer off of the bed. So a kli shemalachto le'isser, something like a hammer, which is used for isser, is allowed to be moved, even though it's muktzah, when one of the reasons is letzorech mikomo. I need that place. I need to go to sleep on that bed, and that's the only bed available for me. So when dealing with the lighter example of muktzah, again, a hammer is in that light category. So whenever you're dealing with something that's in the lighter category of muktzah, you are allowed to move that muktzah for one of two good reasons. I need the hammer itself for a permissible use, or I need the place where the hammer is. Okay, but now to our example. A cell phone is not necessarily in that same category. It is, yes, it's a kli shemalachto le'isser. It is used for prohibited activities, but it might be bumped up into a stricter category because there are categories of muktzah that are called muktzah machmas chisaron kis, which means they're muktzah because they're very valuable items set away from Shabbos uses. And that's what a cell phone category might be. Our cell phones are worth hundreds of dollars, a lot more than a hammer. They are set aside from Shabbos use. You were not going to use them ever to crack open a nut. They don't have permissible uses, and they're very expensive and set aside from Shabbos use. So they don't have these two leniencies that we just spoke about, which is, I might need the cell phone to crack open a nut. Or, I might need the place, I need the bed where the cell phone is. You can't use that because those two leniencies of I need the place or I need the thing, those leniencies only apply to things like hammers, which were in a bit of a more mild category of muktzah. The cell phone is in a more severe category of muktzah, and therefore you're stuck without any good reasons to move it off of the bed. So I'll leave you in suspense and tell you that we're going to explore in our next halachas is there may be other possible considerations as to how to move that phone. How to, well, I'll leave you in suspense. So, I hope this won't happen to you. We'll get one more in before Shabbos, and then maybe hopefully you'll have the answer before Shabbos, and hopefully it won't happen to you on Shabbos. So you're in suspense. Can a cell phone be moved off of the bed? And even if it is moved off of the bed, did the bed become a base to the camera and therefore impermissible for the rest of Shabbos? Stay tuned. More to follow in the next couple of days. Thanks for logging on. Sorry to keep you in suspense. Bye-bye.